What's going on? What's going on, people? I know everyone is paying attention to this Kwame Brown situation. You know, Charlemagne the God talking about him, Stephen Jackson, forget the other dude name, Matt Barnes, Stephen A. Smith, Jamel Hill. Why they had to mess with that, man? Kwame Brown is necessary for the culture. Kwame Brown is important to the culture because he's not afraid to say the things that people really want to say. He's not afraid to say it. Kwame Brown is saying exactly what's on people's mind, especially, dealing with Charlemagne. And the reason people don't say it is because they don't want to mess up the relationship of being friends with someone like Charlemagne, right? So Charlemagne got so much controversy around him, which we ain't gonna touch on that too much. But do I think that Charlemagne the God is for the culture? Do I think that he's an idiot? Do I think that he's for the revolution of black people? Nah, I don't think, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because something been bothering me with Charlemagne for a while. When the Breakfast Club interviewed Minister Louis Farrakhan, and Farrakhan is talking all his pro-black talk, and how we should act as black people. What did Charlemagne do directly after having that very important conversation with the minister? He goes and start beefing with Funkmaster Flex over what station is the hottest, who gets the most ratings, and all of this other stuff. Charlemagne nor Funkmaster Flex own these radio stations that they pushing ratings for. In fact, the people who own the stations don't even look like them. So you're basically fighting another black brother to get ratings for a company that you don't even own. And this was right after he had that very important conversation. The Breakfast Club had that very important conversation with Minister Louis Farrakhan regarding all this stuff. So I always looked at Charlemagne as a funny style type cat. Even when he was going with this narrative of he don't speak to black people after like 5 p.m. or something like that. Like, I'm like, what type of time is he really on? You know what I'm saying? What type of time is he really on? And the mistake that they made with Kwame Brown is they thought that they view Kwame Brown as a lame for the simple fact that they don't feel that his basketball game was up to par for him being the #1 draft pick, for him being a kid coming into the league. Like, they still thought that they was dealing with Kwame Brown and that mentality, that he was just a child, that his game was reflective of his mindset and how he think and who he is as a man. And they got a rude awakening by picking on him and poking the bear. These people sat there, poked the bear with Kwame Brown, and now Kwame Brown is airing them out, rightfully so. He's not saying anything wrong. He's not saying anything wrong, especially, like, I like Charlemagne interviews, but I noticed that Charlemagne, when he do his interviews, he interview black people differently than how he interview white people. He don't keep, like, when black people come on there, he always asking them something crazy, something that don't even have to do with their genre of their fame, some personal stuff. But when white people come on the show, he don't do it. He don't handle it the same way. He don't handle it the same way. So yeah, I think that Charlemagne is not for the community like they portraying to be. None of these guys are. None of these guys are, because when you look at what's going on in our community, like what Kwame Brown say, you know, his daughter singing that song, Throat Baby. They play that song on the radio all the time. You have young black kids singing these songs. How is that helping our community? You have these activists out here. These activists, they, like I call them, they confuse activists. They have the mindset to do the right thing, but they conflicted. You can't be an activist and talk about, you know, Black Lives Matter and blacks need to do this, blacks need to do that, but you're promoting music that go against everything that you stand for. These guys are conflicted. They don't know if they still want to be in the street. They don't know if they want to be activists. They don't know if they want to be Martin Luther King or if they want to be Tupac. I mean, I just don't get it. I just don't get it with a lot of these activists, man. And Kwame Brown is right. Like, these guys are controlled. They are not the bosses of their situation. They know that the only way that they will get ratings is talking about somebody that looks just like them. And it's sad and it's sickening that this continues to happen with our culture. We have the wrong people controlling our culture. The wrong people is controlling our culture. Their messages are getting out there, vibrating with the masses and sending the wrong message. This is why, like, Kwame Brown is a breath of fresh air. He's not saying anything new, but what he is doing is saying the stuff that's on people's mind that these other celebrities are afraid to say, that these other celebrities don't want to say, because they don't want to mess up relationships, because they want to go on the Breakfast Club. They want to get their music played. They want to be accepted and liked. Man, Kwame Brown, breath of fresh air. They really thought that they could sit there. The beautiful thing is that they decided to pick on him and didn't think that he was going to respond back. His platform is growing for the right reasons, not for no tomfoolery, not because he's talking about anyone or trying to clout chase or come up off of anyone. He's putting the clout chasers in their place. He's getting at the clout chasers. He's confronting the so-called bullies who think that they run in the playground. That's what Kwame Brown is doing. Shout out to Kwame Brown, man. They over here talking about, you know, he's a #1 pick and this and that. So what? Do you know how hard it is to make it to the NBA? Do you know how hard it is to make it to the NBA #1 draft pick at 17, 18 years old? He made it to a league that most people don't even make it to. In my eyes, he ain't no bust. How he's a bust? He made it to the NBA. Something that a lot of people wish that they could do. He made it to the NBA. He's no bust. And the people who's calling him a bust, like Stephen A. Smith, can't even play basketball. Stephen A. Smith is entertaining, but in the root of it, he make his money because he talks about other people in a negative way. He talks about people, and it be his own people, and they know if they talk about athletes, Caucasian athletes, the same way that they talk about black athletes, they would not have a job. They would not have a job. And the puppet masters, the bosses that own these networks, they only let it go down because it's, at the end of the day, it's us destroying us. It's us destroying us. And what Kwame Brown is talking about, it happens in every industry. Like, I hear him talk and I'm like, wow, I wish Kwame Brown worked for the New York City Transit and the MTA with me, because I do the same thing that he do. I confront the so-called bully bosses. I call out the coons. You know what I'm saying? Like, this, man, I'm enjoying every minute of Kwame Brown's Mama's Cooking. He said, when you mess with Mama's son, you're going to get Mama's Cooking. I support that 1,000,000,000%. 1,000,000,000%. And then they try to paint him as being volatile, as being angry, as being unpredictably violent because his father and his brother committed crimes, and you know that's just wrong. That's just wrong what they doing. But everyone who's messing with Kwame deserve everything that they getting right now. They deserve every lick of what they getting right now. How you gonna talk about that man and then the thing is that they ain't think that he was going to clap back. Like he said, yo, y'all been messing with this kid, a teenager, for 20 years. His mother died in 2009. We're still ignoring people. Then now he decided to clap back. Some people got a problem with it, but they was poking him for a long time. And not to mention, his jokes is funny, and he's talking truth. He's not acting like a sellout. He's not a house Negro. You could tell he's not a house Negro. You know what I mean? You could tell that he's down to earth. You know what I mean? He get on live dressed regular, like you and I. Me, come on, man. Come on, man. Kwame Brown is refreshing. He's needed for the culture. We should all support him to going against these machines that are put in place to destroy us. These machines are put in place to destroy us, not to help us out, not to uplift our communities, not to make us productive citizens. These networks, these people in front of these cameras are put here to destroy us. They are put here to destroy us. Shout out to Kwame Brown. I'm gonna be looking forward to some more of his mama's cooking, and I'm gonna support him. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.